Hello there, listeners. This is Kermit the Frog. Happy holidays. The Being Real podcast would like to share that you may notice some funky audio stuff caught on the mic from our special guest today. It's no biggie. Thank you for understanding. I sure do hope you enjoy this episode as much as I do. Take it away, Evan.
I love those Jingles, Jingles,
dashing through the snow,
those holiday,
one horse open sleigh,
those holiday,
o'er the fields we go,
those holiday,
laughing all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride, oh, what fun it is to ride all the way.
In 1992, the film, The Muppet Christmas Carol, swept audiences through the past, present, and future on a journey of regret and redemption, powered by the Christmas spirit. Today, a jolly gal drops in to get Muppety while reveling in the gleefully festive holiday season. This is the Being Real podcast. My name is Evan. Kristen, it's time to be real. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Being Real podcast for our 10th episode. I am joined by the newly wedded wife to my dearest friend and an amazing person in her own right, Kristen Olette.
Hello.
Kristen,
that's the first
hi.
time I've been introduced as Kristen Olette, like officially, besides our
Isn't
wedding,
it weird?
I guess. It's an adjustment. I mean, I love it, don't get me wrong, but every time I write out my new last name, people are like, how do you say that? I think they're really tripped up by all the vowels in it.
Well, when my wife and I got married 2 years ago, there was a small period of time. It actually might not have been small, I have to admit. It might have been like months where I'd be like my girlfriend or my fiance, and my wife would get so frustrated. It's an adjustment. It's an adjustment. People.
It is. I remember getting engaged, and I think for the first month afterwards, I still was like, oh yeah, my boyfriend.
Who?
But no, Jake was my fiance then, and now he's my husband.
My
I feel
acquaintance, Jake.
My friend Jake. No, my husband, who I love dearly. I feel like we've been pretty good about the wife and husband thing versus fiance. I feel like we've only tripped up a couple times, which is nice. But I think mentally I was like, oh, this is my husband. Like I was practicing introducing Jake as my husband before we got married because I just really was excited about getting married. So,
Well, at least you had the introductions down beforehand. I'm usually bad at just introducing my family and my loved ones to other people, so at least you have that going for you.
yeah, I try. I also don't know the last time I actually like met a new person. So I think that's also been like mentally, I'm
So
like,
relatable.
oh yes, my husband. But like everyone's
There
like,
is a
Kristen.
circle of people that I know I'm comfortable with.
Yes.
There aren't usually newcomers, right?
Yeah,
You can share that.
I think so. Yeah, I feel that. Especially also working from home. Like, who am I meeting? I work on a computer screen, basically.
Well, I think most married couples can confirm that not a whole lot changes when you get married. You just sort of feel cozier. Is that the
Yes.
right word?
I definitely don't feel like anything has changed other than my last name, I guess. Because I feel like we've been acting like an old married couple for 4 years now. Like
I
since
guess
we've
in a
moved
weird
in.
way, you just feel more official.
Yes.
When when you're working or talking or just hanging out with other people who are married, or just like even like older adults, you're like, yes, I am a functional citizen.
Yeah.
I am married.
Yeah, I was just thinking about this. It's like, I don't feel old enough to have a husband, which is like also hilarious because I'm 30, so it's not like I am a child anymore, like not a child bride whatsoever, got married at 29. But like sometimes I'm like, You have a husband? Are you allowed to do that? Did you ask for, like, did you have your parents sign a permission slip for you to get married? But,
I mean, technically you did. I think it's just that your parents are now the state of, Virginia.
yeah, I guess that's true. Or the Arlington County clerk's office, where we technically got married a second time because of paperwork issues.
I guess that's what they mean by when they say you'll always be a kid at heart. Because each milestone I encounter, it's like, am I ready for this?
Right. And then the government's like, sure, you can do this. Yeah, whatever. Good luck.
Just to touch on your wedding, which was fantastic.
Yes,
I
you're
mean,
the best man.
I was the best man. I felt like I had such a big responsibility. As far as just the speech, like speech aside, I just felt like, am I going to be representative of Jacob's man? Like his choice to champion his end of the party in this wedding. And yeah, it was big. Like I feel like I definitely empathized with him back in September when you two got married, because he was such a emotional support for me. I remember riding with him on the bus to my own wedding venue and just feeling the weight of everything crashing down on me.
Yep.
And I just felt so locked in and trapped in my own world. He was like, hey, he grabbed me by the shirt and was like,
Keep it together, man.
I think Jacob in his own way perseverated over the whole entire thing. And I was happy to be that grounding presence. But you and your party, you guys were in a very different place. We didn't even have contact with you. What was that like for you?
Oh man. So it was kind of a blur, honestly. I feel like that entire day just kind of flew by. Cause I guess in the bridal suite, it was kind of just like my friends were trying to keep me calm. So they were trying to be that presence of like keeping me grounded, because Jake and I both had like our own little like freakouts the morning of the wedding, not about like getting married or anything. We're just like, this is a big event that like we've worked really hard to like plan, and just like, is it gonna go off like without a hitch or anything? And I will say, your wife Katie was a hero that day, because she helped unpack things in the morning. She helped with the cookie tables. She was just like such a good presence to have in the space. And then she got everyone on the bus to get to the wedding. So like Katie's one of our heroes of the day for that day.
She thrives when she can be a rescuer, like when she knows that she can help. She can sacrifice her time to save others, or make the team work. That's her ultimate goal.
She's a saint, is how I feel.
I know she'll listen to this and she'll probably be beaming. So
good.
I appreciate that.
Love you, Katie. It's funny you're talking about with your wedding, because I'm currently staring at a picture of you and Jake holding hands. Like,
I'm so happy that is. Like, I know you're sitting at his desk where we just talked about him keeping literally everything important to his life on that desk. I think medications, probably personal documents, and then there's me. I do hope that I'm not the centerpiece anymore. I'm hoping there's maybe like your wedding photo to replace that now.
It's an engagement photo that's in between the two, but yeah, for a good year and a half, you were kind of just in the middle of the desk, and I was like off to the side, and I was like, yeah. It's Evan.
Listen,
I get it.
I don't want to chalk that up to his problem, but I do have my own photo from my wedding with my whole entire party. Like, it's not just me and Jake. But to be fair, I think I'm the one that gifted him that photo.
Yes, but
I'm an enabler. That's what I'm saying.
I think it's great. I'm a big fan of it, because you both just look like you love each other so much in this picture, and it makes me happy to look
That's
at.
a commonality that we have, Kristen. We both love this man, for better and for worse.
He's wonderful.
Now, if we can have any tea about Jacob, we're not going to go into gripes, things we hate about Jacob, because those just don't exist.
No,
those don't exist.
He's wonderful.
He's a wonderful guy. So we were recently hanging out in Arlington. This was back in last month. Wonderful time, eating well, of course. But we played a escape game.
We did.
And something that I can say about my best friend and your husband is that he will stress over the fine details. We had done our best to get through this escape room, And at the end, by all fault of Jacob, he had unknowingly unlocked the last key to the room without us going through the motions of actually what was intended to get through the entire escape room by like knocking down a part of the wall or this
There are about like 6 more puzzles we were supposed to solve before we opened this door, basically.
He stepped over all of those to get to the last puzzle.
In his defense, he did just poke it and fell. So I think that's more on the escape room's fault.
Yeah, I don't want to make it seem like he charged at this wall.
Yeah, he didn't just break something. It was broken.
But he saved us. We were 21 minutes. Out from, which was incredible because this was one of the harder, if not the hardest, escape room in the building. And I think he just spent a solid hour focusing over that and worrying that we didn't have a good time. And I think that's something we all share, but like that's Jacob
it's so
in
him.
a nutshell.
He wants to do things the right way, and he wants to make sure everyone's having a good time, and it's very sweet. Because you could tell he was feeling guilty when we were all just having our celebratory drinks afterwards. Like he was mentally like, we didn't earn this. I broke the game. I think a couple weeks ago we were still talking about it, and he was still like, it broke. And I was like, no.
Of course he was still thinking about it. Well, so partly we're here to talk about you. Apparently we're here to talk about Jacob as well.
My favorite topics to talk about, so...
But apart from your wedding milestone, is there anything new and exciting in your life or something that you're maybe looking forward to, however big or small it is?
I guess like a small thing is I'm just really excited to decorate our apartment for Christmas.
Nice.
Because
do you guys did you inherit decorations from your family as you moved in together, or is this something you're going to try to muster and purchase?
I would say it's a little of column A and a little of column B, because I think both of us have ornaments that we grew up and like those were our ornaments. Like those were the ones that we put on our parents' trees. And then when I moved out, my old roommate, she had a Christmas tree. So I took all of my ornaments, basically all the ones that said Kristen on them, like the personalized like little wooden angel.
There's like tens of Kristen ornaments.
Yeah. And I was like, my parents don't need these. They're not Kristen. So I get to keep these.
They need one Kristen. And really it's just you, but maybe one ornament too.
Yeah, I think so. I think they still have one. I don't know. But I took like my Barbie ornaments that I got when I was like 5 or 6. And I've just kind of had those. And when I was in high school, I decided. Is
that special to you? These Barbie ornaments?
I mean, a little bit. They were always like my favorite ones to put on the tree when I was little. One of them was like a millennial Barbie, like it was like we're ringing in 2000, and so I was like, she's so glamorous. I need to
flip
have
phone Barbie.
Tree. No, she was like in this she's like a New Year's princess kind of energy, and I don't know why, but like I still love this ornament. I was like, I need to have it. It's mine. I'm taking it. No one's gonna care about.
Like you said, it's just that familiarity, like of each year going back to that one ornament that maybe just stood out to you.
Yeah.
That you always have to have in a certain place on the tree front and center, right?
Yes.
Barbie deserves that. I mean, let's be real.
Yes, exactly. Did you grow up in a family where you had like every year, like there were some ornaments that went in the same spot?
So, absolutely. So just turning back a little bit to the Kristen ornaments, we had my sister Rachel and I, we have probably 10 different types of ornaments with our name on it. There's reindeer, snowmen, like a bulb. Yeah. I don't know why we needed so many of our names on these ornaments, but we have them all. And those aren't necessarily front and center. But for me, there's definitely this ornament I made in school of my third grade year picture.
Oh.
And then we had these spray painted puzzle pieces with glitter around framing the picture. And that always has to be middle, front, and center over my sister. Even if my sister gets to the tree first, it's like,
oh, bitch, get out the way.
Okay, swap out, yoink, and I'm going to put mine front and center.
This is the most older brother move I have ever heard in my life.
Older brother supremacy.
Yeah, that's
shout out Michael, your brother.
Yes, I was about to say, Michael and I had a lot of like those named ornaments, and like they'd be like matching ones. So like there'd be like an ornament with like a Kristen on it. like it was like a stocking, and Michael would have one that said like stock, like they have the same thing, but it said Michael, and so like we'd always put those together on the tree. So
Okay.
instead of
that.
like my brother being like, I'm older, this goes where I want it, and you can be below me.
He wasn't a dick like me, is what you're saying.
Maybe. Or it was just it was like I just remember doing that and thinking that was very sweet.
That's
like,
Michael,
we need to
yeah.
figure out where the apple ornaments for some reason have our names
Making
on
it like a
them,
team
so-
effort. Like, I'm going to put this here and you're going to put it on the other side.
Yeah.
But they'll be matched. That's so nice.
Yeah.
That's so, well, you know what? Even now that my sister and I are in our 20s, if I'm in my late 20s, she's in her early 20s, maybe I'll start it now. You know, try to have a
you can always
redeeming
try.
Christmas. But unfortunately, we already decorated my family's tree. Alas.
Oh,
2025 is our year then. But no, I had very special ornaments that really have to be on the tree no matter what. Now, these were from 2003. I don't know if you remember, but at fast food restaurants way back, you were able to purchase these specialty toys or commemorative items, whether they be from like a big IP like Disney or whatever. These were like when the Cat in the Hat movie was released in 2003.
Wait, I know exactly what you're
Burger
talking
King had
about.
these like stainless steel plated ornaments.
Maybe I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I thought you were going to talk about because like I remember getting ornaments in like Happy Meal toys.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they weren't nearly as nice as what you're talking about.
No, these were like outlandishly nice ornaments, and I didn't have the complete set growing up.
Right.
I had a full third-person Cat in the Hat, the actual hat of the cat, and the fish in the bowl. So I had those three, and they're just like really quality ornaments from Burger King, like what the last place you expect. But they always had to be on the tree
Right, of
first. Like
course.
I had to know where they were in the box. And now I left those with my mom. I'm like, we need those at your house, but I am also getting my own. So I took it upon myself to go on to eBay and
Okay.
find the complete set. It was like dirt cheap. And now I have them for my tree and
I'm
my
so
family
happy
moving
for
forward.
you.
Yeah, it
That's-
just feels like it's come full circle,
Right.
and I have completed a quest that has been ongoing since I was a kid,
Yes.
essentially.
It sounds like it. Yeah, and now those can be the famous like Cat in the Hat ornaments that get passed down through the generations.
Yeah.
And no one needs to know you got them from Burger King.
No, they don't. No, they don't. I don't. It might say Burger King on the box, man. I might have to get rid of that.
Scribble it out.
They're
forever.
special either way. Well, so I want to transition into a small segment before we talk about your coffee, your cafe of your choice. I want to ask you what actor or actress I remind. Wait. Wait. I remind you of? You remind me of?
So is
You
it
know
an
what I'm
actor
saying.
that
It could be an
see
actor
that
or
I'm like,
actress,
oh, that's
like,
Evan.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's me.
Oh man. Oh, that's a great question. And I'm gonna pause and think about that for a second.
We could come back. We could come back too. That's fine.
Yeah. Kind of related to this a little bit is Jake and I are watching Gilmore Girls for the first.
Okay.
Well, he's watching it for the first time, and like I was just rewatching it, and he got really was like, "Oh, I want to watch this here."
He was like subtly invested at first, kind of like, and then he dived into it. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And so we were like going through all the characters and like who reminded us of people in our lives, and like obviously none of like the Gilmores because they all are garbage people.
Okay.
But we both kind of thought that Kirk reminded us of you, because he does a little of everything, and he's like a nice like support for the community, and it's a compliment because Kirk's like a little goofy.
Uh-huh.
Which is good. Have you seen Gilmore Girls, or am I just like riffing?
No, I am learning.
Okay.
I am a student of the Gilmore Academy
Okay.
right now. I've never watched it. My wife has never watched it, which I might
Really?
maybe put that onto her so that we could start. I'm a little goofy. I think I can
are.
recognize that. You are. You are.
In a nice way. I love goofy people. Because it's just more fun around.
Yeah. Well, I
I'm also
like
goofy.
like being goofy. So great. I mean, I love it.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop fucking lying.
Yeah, great. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I'm going to go with Kirk from Gilmore Girls for the
Kirk.
moment because I can't.
I love it.
He's just
We'll keep the heart of what you mean there.
good. Okay.
I like it.
Okay.
Kirk is a strong name. I am goofy. Thank you.
Yay.
I'm glad we pinned that early, so I appreciate it because we would have forgotten. We would.
Oh,
have
absolutely.
So this morning very early, around like 7 o'clock. I went on like a Sheetz run. Got myself a drip coffee. Nothing special, but I know that you prepared your own coffee.
Yes.
What are you drinking? What's in your cup?
So I really leaning into this whole Christmas thing. So
Okay.
I poured a packet of hot chocolate powder, which I have no idea how old it is. It was in my pantry though, and I was like, cool, this is on brand. And then I steamed up some half and half, and then I poured a couple shots of espresso on top of that. So it's kind of like a mocha hot chocolate espresso drink. It's very cozy and very tasty. Am I going to go into a sugar coma? Probably, but that's fine.
It's worth it. It's a treat after a hard week of work.
Yes, exactly.
I'm a big peppermint chocolate fan.
Oh,
I don't know if there's anything better. I mean, people throw the gingerbread out, which is fine, and the sugar cookie, you know, but I like that. I like that peppermint candy cane taste.
You and Jake are one and the same because that's his favorite as well. I'm more like the creme brulee,
Ooh,
that the Starbucks has like that caramel brulee latte. That's like my favorite seasonal drink probably, which is funny because I'm not a big caramel person usually, but like that one's just like, it's just sweet enough without being like cloyingly
It really
sweet.
tastes like a dessert.
Yes.
That you'd get around the holiday.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that sounds delicious. I am
There you
actually
go.
really jealous. I know we have like a peppermint mocha creamer downstairs, and I already had a big cup, but I might have to go back for a second. Okay, well, so Jake, when he was on last year, he had mentioned a coffee house. I'm trying to remember it. I probably should have.
Northside Social, I believe.
Definitely Northside Social. Yeah, and I was there before. Do you share that pick, or do you have something different?
I actually have a different one.
Whoa.
Mine would be Rare Bird Coffee.
Rare Bird, okay.
Which is just down the street from Northside Social. That's actually the coffee that we had on a coffee cart at our wedding. So thank you.
It was delicious.
That was a very serendipitous find because Jake had mentioned very early on, he's like, oh, a coffee cart would be really cool for the wedding. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
So it's just down the street. And like, I didn't know that they had the cart. I just happened to be on Instagram and saw that they were working a wedding at our venue actually. And I was like, oh man. Oh, I'm going to email them right now about this. Because we'd kind of given up on it at that point. But like, I reached out and then I was like, hey, do you want to work our wedding? Please. We love this place. And they were like, absolutely we do. And then they had us come in for a tasting which is great. But it was like 4 different kinds of espresso at 9 o'clock in the morning. In like a 10-minute span. So I was quite literally like shaking afterwards because I had so much like caffeine jitters. But I love Rare Bird Cafe. They have just a lot of great like different coffee drinks. Like they have a vanilla cardamom latte that's just delicious, and that's probably my favorite. Actually, no, the butterscotch latte is my favorite. But everything I've had there, I'm just like, this is so tasty. And they also have like the best breakfast sandwich in town is my take on things, which is coming in hot.
Okay. Coming in hot.
But
hot take.
I stand by that, and I would fight on that one.
When we were at your wedding, the people were great. I don't know if they were the owners or just employees or what, but they were wonderful. The espresso was delicious, so flavorful. I remember sitting down at the table, and Jake's brother Mark had brought me over a shot right before my speech, which was so appropriate. Like I was really anxious, and then I was wired to go. It was perfect. What's their branding like in the actual cafe?
It's a really cozy place. They have a lot of local artists show their artwork there, and they expanded their cafe at some point in the last couple years, so it's like twice as big as it used to be. Because when Jake and I first started dating, we sometimes would go there to do like homework together because we're both in grad school.
Yeah.
And so like we would just like have study dates there. But then at some point they bought the store next to it and were able to expand the cafe completely. And it's just like, it has these like beautiful plants everywhere. So it's just like greenery and like really bright with like natural lighting. And just, it's kind of if IKEA planned a coffee shop in the best way possible.
Like it's very modern, up with the times. But does it feel overbearing with all the natural amenities, or is it like confined, maybe claustrophobic?
I don't think so, because I think comparing it to how it used to be when it was aggressively claustrophobic, like there was no place basically to stand once you ordered your coffee. So you're kind of just like standing on the tables and like you felt like a sardine in there. But with it being bigger, it's a lot more open than it used to be. And yeah, I'm a big fan of that.
I like the natural vibes when a coffee shop brings that, because not only is the air you're breathing much clearer, obviously, but at the same time, I feel like, I don't know, like coffee is a very natural experience.
I agree.
And just to have like just a physical representation of that is cool. I like that. Yeah. My wife's a big plant girl, big plant mom. I know she appreciates that. So if I can, it's always nice to get that feedback from her when we go to places like that. So this is very much like a sit down sort of place. It's not like a come and go, grab your drink.
It's both. On the weekends, because like usually we'll go there because it's right by the farmer's market. So sometimes we'll walk over, and if the line's not too long, we'll order coffee from there. But like there's like, you could sit down if you wanted, maybe not during busy times just because there might not be a table for you, but like we've definitely grabbed and gone before. So
is this a place that offers their own like roasts that you can purchase? Or
yes, because when we went for the coffee tasting, they gave us like 4 bags of espresso and said enjoy, and we're like, this is $60 worth of coffee.
Yeah, no, it's not cheap.
Yeah.
Especially the local roasters, they can charge $20 a bag, you know.
Yeah. And they also like gave us like a whole box of their pastries too. And they're like, in case you want to like try them and like have some pastries at the wedding, which we didn't end up going with because we had enough desserts at our wedding. Yeah. But I got free pastries and they were also quite delicious.
When you go to get coffee, is there, you're lining up at the register, you really don't know what you want, but you're going to order Old Reliable. What is that for you?
It's an iced butterscotch latte.
I'm going to be honest. I think I've looked this up before, but what is butterscotch?
You know, I'm not confident in my answer for this.
I feel like it's a type of caramel, but it just tastes different, like almost roasted in a way. I don't know.
It almost tastes like chocolate chip cookie dough minus the chocolate part. So just like the dough. I think you're right that it's like a caramelly taste, but there's also like, it's butterscotch, so I was gonna say it's got like a buttery taste to it.
I feel that. Now, is Rare Bird the name, right? Rare Bird? Yeah. And that's the location where you find that, or is there a certain place where you like to get that butterscotch latte?
I've never had one anywhere else. Like, I've never seen it on a menu, really. So
I haven't seen it anywhere.
Yeah.
It sounds so
good. And
good.
it's like a year-long thing. It's not like a Christmas thing, because I feel like some places would do like, that's like a Christmassy flavor, I feel like. But they do it year-round. They also have like a vanilla cardamom latte, which is really good because they bring like some of those like Middle Eastern spices into their baked goods and coffee drinks, which is different. And I think it's delicious. So I think that might be part of why I like it a lot too.
Well, different can always be surprising. Yeah. Surprisingly good. Butterscotch being a flavor of the Christmas season. We're here to talk about a Christmas movie, this being more of a special episode of the podcast. We're here to talk about maybe not your typical Christmas movie that you might talk about when it comes time. So you've chosen the 1992 American Christmas musical film, The Muppet Christmas Carol. Yes,
I have.
I have to ask off the bat, why?
when you asked me to pick a Christmas movie, I was trying to think of like, what are my favorite Christmas movies?
Yeah.
And like, I first thought the Santa Claus, but I was like, I can't really talk about that other than like Tim Allen's a dick in that movie. And that's like,
Tim Allen might be an asshole at baseline. And it very much translated into the Santa Claus movies.
And like just all of those movies, he's just kind of a dick all the time. So like, I didn't want to talk about that. There's like The Holiday, which I really love, and I was gonna talk about that, but then I like thought about A Muppet's Christmas Carol, and I was like, no, I'm gonna talk about this one, throw a curveball.
It screamed fun to you.
It screamed fun to me. I grew up loving the Muppets. My mom had the box sets of the Muppet Show on DVD.
Oh, okay.
So like sometimes instead of like a family movie night, we'd have like a family let's all watch a couple episodes of the Muppet Show night.
Yeah.
And so we would just like laugh until we cry, and I just have really fond memories of that. Also, I really was terrified of A Muppet's Christmas Carol the first time I saw it because I was 5 or 6 years old, I think, and on a bus trip to New York City to go see the Rockettes at Radio City Music Hall.
Nice.
And I don't remember a single thing about that trip except we watched A Muppet's Christmas Carol on the bus, and it terrified me.
I mean, they move erratically.
Yes.
They're
it was the ghosts.
Yeah, the Ghost of Christmas Past.
Yeah.
Is that the one you're referencing?
It was the Marley Brothers. Like
okay.
in the chains. I don't know why, but like that image really haunted me, and
Yeah.
I had nightmares for like days after seeing it. So, apologies to the Rockettes for not remembering your show, but I was traumatized by Muppets, and
Well, we can really make this a therapy session about your fear of the Muppets and dissect that. Or we could
we don't
dissect
have to do that.
the two angles here, because this is definitely a mashup type of movie
Yes.
where you have the Muppets and they said, okay, what if the Muppets existed in Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol world?
Right.
Because they're pretty faithful to the old tale.
Yes, I think it was brilliant to cast Gonzo as Charles Dickens also, because like how else is Gonzo going to be in this movie?
There's no way people would believe Gonzo as Charles Dickens, but we're going to do it anyway. It was sort of a fuck you to the audience.
Yes. It was just like there's so many subverting expectations in this movie. It's like, is this a serious retelling of A Christmas Carol? Is it a goofy retelling? And it kind of finds a way to do both. We haven't talked about Michael Caine yet because we just started talking about this, but Michael Caine delivers such a performance as Scrooge that you think he's in like some like PBS drama.
Yeah. I want to put a pause on that. We'll talk about that in a second. First, I just want to get a general synopsis of the film from you for the listeners.
All right.
And I just wanted to briefly talk about that this movie is directed by Brian Henson.
Okay.
His feature directional debut at the time in 1992. Brian being the son of the Jim Henson, one of the primary creators of the Muppets.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the film being adapted from the 1843 Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. They take their artistic license with they're incorporating the aesthetic of the Muppets, but it does follow closely, like we mentioned. I feel like this script was initially approved by ABC, but the execs at Walt Disney Pictures picked it right up.
Mm-hmm.
It was initially going to be like a television sort of thing, which I think you can kind of see. Like it just feels more like a television movie, but then no, Disney made it a full-blown movie, and it was kind of wedged between Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, and Disney's own Aladdin. So I don't know if they really set this up for a total success. Maybe it should have been a television movie, but regardless, I'm happy it has seen the light of day.
Yes. I didn't realize it was between Home Alone 2 and Aladdin. That's just like...
That's competition.
That's the forgotten middle child of movies right there.
For sure. Well, if you want to give the listeners maybe a short synopsis of The Muppet Christmas Carol, I'll give you like about 30 seconds on the clock.
Sure. Okay. So it's the story of A Christmas Carol is this miserly old man, Ebenezer Scrooge, hates Christmas. He says bah humbug a lot. And so he's just a really awful person. And so he's visited by 3 ghosts: the ghost of Christmas past, the ghost of Christmas present, and either ghost of future Christmas or the Christmas is yet to come, I think is like the technical term for it. Right. And basically it's kind of like a reflection of how did you become this really shitty old man, and what can you do to change kind of your fate a little bit. And it's just kind of a redemption really thing. Like, if you change your perspective on things, you can, like, there's no time like the present to become a better person is kind of the takeaway from
it. Goes from like grumpy to whimsical and optimistic, I guess.
Yeah. And just throw Muppets in that, and that's the movie.
And that, I love that, because it really is. Let's throw Muppets into the mix, and I think we should let's talk Muppets here. Okay. Alrighty. Obviously, like I said before, Jim Henson created the Muppet. He had once at one point said it was like a mashup of the words marionette and puppet, making Muppet. Okay.
Good job.
In 1955, they were created with an ensemble cast of all these different characters, whether it be like absurdist, sketch comedy. I think the first foray into the film world of the Muppets as we now know them initially started when Jim Henson incorporated them in NBC's Saturday Night Live.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They were incorporated much after the initial Sesame Street and all the characters were introduced. And the SNL cast members were writing sketches with the Muppet crew that were a little more vulgar, a little more PG-13, if not mature. And the SNL cast members hated it. They just didn't think it added up. So it was really a failure. They didn't last beyond that one season they were on SNL. Jim Henson, he was still trying to get them in greater television film. So he pitched a couple more PG-13 pilots called The Muppets Valentine, which exists in 1974 release, and then The Muppet Show Sex and Violence, a pilot that was released to ABC in 1975. And now I really want to find these pilots, right? Because they were really never picked up. Because again, you're taking Muppets and making them more mature, which I feel like maybe back in the 70s people didn't think was appropriate. Now, I think it would be a free-for-all.
Oh,
it'd be
absolutely.
A bloodbath. People would eat it up.
Because, like, if you think of, like, Broadway musicals like Avenue Q, that's basically just, like, sexed up Muppets, really. Yeah. So, no one to bat an eye in 2024, but that might have been a little risque in the 70s.
Like Jim, I think he was essentially and artistically forced to ground the show once again, make it a little bit more for a family-oriented audience. Added characters like Miss Piggy, Gonzo, Fozzie, characters that we know and love now. He was really seeking to put them in the spotlight in like a sketch format. So why are the Muppets important to you?
I guess it just reminds me of like really fond memories growing up with like my family and watching the show, because like we would just sometimes start laughing until we cried, and like we'll still reference things that we saw on the Muppet Show. Like I must have been like late elementary school, early middle school when we were watching it, so it must have been like 2006, 2007 when my mom got these DVDs. And like my brother and I will still sometimes reference it. It's just like had a chokehold on
your childhood and your nostalgia.
Yeah, like I watched Baby Muppets when I was really little.
Oh,
because why not? But yeah, so I guess it's just like a really like big nostalgia.
If you had to identify as one Muppet, one of the, it doesn't even have to be a bigger Muppet character, who would it be?
I was thinking about this actually because I was wondering if you're going to ask me this question. I feel like Beaker.
Okay.
Sometimes. Because like I just want to be there to help, but then like things just chaotically happen a lot. Maybe Beaker's my answer. Also Scooter, who's like on the Muppet Show. I just feel like I'm talking too much about the Muppet Show, and like it's like everyone's gonna be like, she only watched the Muppet Show growing up.
She's a Muppet girl.
She's a Muppet girl.
This is her personality.
Apparently, it might be. Who can say? Maybe it's just been buried deep underneath.
This is the first time I'm hearing about it. I'm intrigued.
It's because I try to be cool, so I don't talk about how much Muppets lore.
I don't know. I'm trying to put a pin on it, but I feel like I want to say Gonzo because he's just perpetually confused all the time and just kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time. And I get that. As a clumsy fella, I am that Gonzo. Now, we mentioned that the Muppets, they're kind of just thrust in this Christmas Carol narrative.
Yes.
What do you think makes that special?
I really like the Muppets movies where there's maybe like one actor who's like just a regular like human being, and then everyone else is just a Muppet, and like we don't question it at all for some reason. We're all like, yes, this makes perfect sense. Of course Muppets were in Victorian England. Like, why wouldn't they have been?
There's like sort of a charming dissonance there.
Yes.
You know?
It's just goofy, and I just love that.
It feels whimsical. It feels zany. And you want that sort of chaotically charming energy in Christmas. Because that really encapsulates Christmas. Chaotically charming.
I think that's why I love this movie so much, because it just really captures that Christmas spirit.
We have the zany, crazy Muppets in the movie, but we also have, like you had mentioned previously, a very grounded performance from the Sir Michael Caine. He's been in so much. He's such a prolific actor. I remember as a kid first seeing him in Christopher Nolan's Batman series.
Same.
He's like the British Tom Hanks. Is that fair? Is that a hot take? Or
the thing is, my question, was Michael Caine ever young? Because I've only seen him in movies as an old man. So I'm
when I've gone back to look at pictures of him, he's just one of those guys. Like, you remember like the 80s movies where everyone looks perpetually like 40 years old?
Yes.
I've never seen him not look less than 40. Let's put it that way. When he was offered this role in the Muppets Christmas Carol, he said to the director, Brian Henson, "I'm going to play this movie like I'm working with the Royal Shakespeare Company. I will never wink. I will never do anything." He uses the word Muppety. "I am going to play Scrooge as if it is utterly dramatic role, and there are no puppets around me." And I love that take.
And he succeeds.
He does.
He does.
In spades. And I guess him using the adjective Muppety, what does Muppety mean to you? And how does he play against that?
Right. I think it's like that kind of chaos.
Okay.
Of just, there's that gif that everyone uses of Kermit just like lapping his arms about like crazily. And I think that's kind of encapsulates the energy of the Muppets. And so I think Michael Caine, and just being like, I'm not doing that. I think that makes, because I don't think the movie would be as good if he wasn't such like...
He is quite literally the straight man.
Yes.
Against the Muppets.
And I think you need a straight man against the Muppets if you're going to have a movie like this.
He's grounding, and he delivers this Oscar-worthy performance. I'm thinking of scenes of him being horrified when he sees the Marley Brothers in chains, and when he visits I forget what the character for Kermit is. What's his name?
Bob Cratchit.
Bob Cratchit's family's home, and Miss Piggy and the siblings and Tiny Tim is there. Mm-hmm. And it's when he visits them with the ghost of the Christmas present that he realizes the gravity of the situations that these townsfolk are really suffering.
Yes.
In a lot of ways.
And kind of because of him.
He says so much with his eyes. Like, his eyes are so expressive.
Yes. I think the cinematography was great to have like those close-ups on his like facial expressions, because you can kind of just like see the horror of everything.
Yeah, what really struck you about his performance? Was it those shots where he was just using his facial features and expressions to really relay the emotion in the scene, or what was it?
I think it's that, and kind of just, I think when he's visiting the Ghost of Christmas Past, or like anytime he's like, no, this is gonna be a really bad memory, like don't show me this, kind of, and there's like this quiver in his voice, and it's just, you forget it's an actor. You think he like just melts into the role, kind of.
I honestly was thinking like, oh my gosh, can I donate to Tiny Tim? Like, is there a fund? Can I help this poor child? He delivers it just as he stated. Like, these aren't Muppets. These are people.
This is the Royal Shakespeare Theatre.
Exactly. I just love the way he delivers that certain gravity, the performance. And it makes me feel like this isn't just a loony movie full of family-friendly creatures. This is really a timeless message.
Yes.
And it's exemplified by his performance. So I want to ask you, what I guess we see Scrooge in the Victorian era. What would a modern Scrooge be in today's climate?
Probably like the CEO of a bank or something.
I thought you were going to say healthcare company. We were so close.
I was going to, and then I thought about events of this past week, and I was like, ooh, no.
No, I love it. I love that you went there. So that's great.
I was also going with the money lending thing because so I was like, banks. That's who lends money. I think a really great modern adaptation would be if you set it in 2007 with the housing crisis and everything.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. Is this version of Christmas Carol's Scrooge, is he, I imagine he's actively dying or already dead. I want to make a case for that.
Ooh, okay. Talk to me.
I think you can make a solid case that this one large, musically bound world is really a fever dream. Or maybe rather dreams within dreams via the Muppet Nightmare, and then Scrooge's tour through his past, present, and future, right?
Right.
It's kind of a Pandora's box and layers here. So really, I mean, maybe this could be this dream within a dream. Maybe this is not the Muppet Christmas Carol. This is the Muppet Inception. How do you feel about that?
Fascinating. I was following along with you because I was about to what if at the end of the movie it just wakes up and it's just Michael Caine wakes up and everyone's just a human.
like Bob Cratchit is
Kermit is now just some dude.
I love that.
I mean, I'm not against it.
Before we move on, I want to have a one-off about Scrooge's crew, his employees.
Okay.
One of my favorite small scenes that I truly laughed, and it wasn't much. I didn't laugh often in this movie, but this one really took me out. Where, for whatever reason, there's Kermit, Bob Cratchit, and these mice.
Yeah,
that are employed. The rats, thank you, that are employed in Scrooge's mortgage, whatever it is, firm, whatever. Yeah. All they want for Christmas is coal, which is actually really funny. It's very ironic. To help light their furnace in the office so they can be warm, and they want that from Scrooge for Christmas. And of course, you can't bargain with the man. He's bitter, a humbug. He's grumpy. They're championing for this coal or whatever, and I think Scrooge says something to the effect of you're going to be basically fired if you ask for that again. And then they're it's a very quick cut where they're all dressed in this tropical Hawaiian themed gear, and they're singing this very tropical song about being warm and how the sun's out. That one took me out. Was there any little moments with the Muppets like that for you?
I really like the little mice that live in the walls. The Mises who want their cheese. I think is what they're called. They're just cute. And then at the end he gives them a hunk of cheese, and you're just oh. That was needed. Heartwarming.
I needed that loop to happen. That to come back to full circle. That was incredible.
I think one of the things I really like about the movie is all of the things that they do for a quick little bit, they do circle back on kind of and tie it together at the end. So I feel a lot of those because there's that little rabbit who's really cold and asking for a couple cents, and then at the end Scrooge is let's go buy a turkey and go take it to the Cratchit's house and let's have a party with everyone I've been mean to this entire movie.
And they're okay with it. He's got a turkey.
Yeah,
that's all good.
Yeah, that's probably a lot
These
of money.
These things can be healed.
Yeah, anything can be fixed with a good meal. That's the other takeaway from the movie.
Caption posted. Love it. I think this is a good time to take a big hit on the pause.
Okay.
I want to come back. We'll talk a little bit about the music in this movie before we move on to the segment Two Truths and One Lie.
Okay.
And you'll have your chance to beat me. I think we'll close it out talking about some small themes in this movie.
Alrighty.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. Hello, and we are back for part 1 of the holiday special for the Being Real podcast. Kristen.
Yes.
Olette.
Howdy.
Muppets Christmas Carol.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Caine. I wish we had him as a guest on this show.
That would be a twist. Can you imagine, 91-year-old Michael Caine just being like, I don't even really remember doing the Muppets movie because it was 30 years ago.
He would not remember. He would probably segue into an entirely different conversation,
Right.
And I would be cool with it, honestly.
Right.
I'd still title the show The Muppets Christmas Carol.
He'll talk all about working with Christopher Nolan in 9,000 movies. And we're just like, no, tell us about the Muppets Christmas Carol from 1992, Michael, please. Sir Michael, please.
I wanted to just briefly touch on the music. We'll call it The Muppets Carol.
Yeah.
I guess just right off the bat, did you like the music? Were you moved, energized? What's up?
So every time I watch this movie, I forget that there's music in it, which is not a reflection of the music because I always enjoy the music when I'm listening.
Yeah.
But I 100% forget between every Christmas season that this is actually a musical. Because I'm just like, it's Michael Caine with Muppets. That's what I think about. But
Right.
I think the music's really jolly and it's all kind of the same song.
Yeah.
But
I think that's a fair
it's a
point.
good song.
So personally, I'll be honest. I don't
Yes.
think the music really landed or stuck with me.
Fair.
I remember when I hit play in the beginning, I wanted to sing. I wanted to bounce along to the whimsical Muppets and their show tunes. I was kind of feeling it. I was kind of like, okay, this is cute. This is fun. It's Muppets singing. How could you not like it?
Right.
But the magic kind of dwindled away almost instantly when I couldn't find myself connecting with the lyrics or many of the structure of the numbers.
Okay, that's fair.
I guess how would you criticize the music considering its build as a musical? Did it stick with you after the movie?
I guess no, since I forget every year that it's a musical.
I mean, it's the Muppets. It has to have some piece
Right.
of music in it. Maybe did you have a favorite piece?
I was going to say, I think the first song that's about Scrooge being a humbug, I think that song's really good.
Yeah.
But I think that's the only song that's actually...
It's almost like a similar play to You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch kind
yes,
of thing. And I like
think,
that.
Yeah, and I think that's why I like it because it does a lot of character exploration within a song. And so it gives us a lot of the exposition that would be really annoying to hear as dialogue. I like the music, but I don't think the movie's stronger because of the music.
Mm-hmm. And I would agree with that.
Yeah, I think it's just the music's there.
So not
also-
all is dull or stale. I mean,
Right.
for me, the song Marley and Marley is super catchy. It might be a
Yes.
tad annoying to some people, but I have a soft spot for it. It feels it's well intentioned. It feels like a ghost that won't stop haunting you,
Mhm.
but the thrill still kind of consumes you a little bit. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I like that. And you're right. The beginning number, it has a point. It has a true relation to the narrative at hand with Scrooge. So yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, I just think, in my opinion, I don't know how you feel about this, but it could have benefited from a power ballad. I'm talking a quintessential 80s synth orchestrating maybe an emotionally painful scene in the movie. I'm thinking Tiny Tim, Bob Cratchit's family.
Oh my gosh.
The
Can
Small
you imagine
Mouse.
if there's a power ballad when
Oh.
Tiny Tim dies? It's just sung by Miss Piggy because who else would sing it?
It would have completely turned around my opinion
Yeah.
about the music in this movie. I can't be light about that.
No, I think that's a missed opportunity. Should we find a time machine and go back to the production of this movie? Say, hey, Miss Piggy needs a number, and
Ooh.
it'll be the weight.
Yeah,
of
I was
the
was
movie.
thinking of a Michael Caine or Kermit, but Miss Piggy would be my choice for the power
Yeah.
ballad. Maybe if we can redub the existing movie with Lady Gaga
Ooh.
and just like have like a really jarring point where she's talking like Miss Piggy, but she's singing like Lady. Amazing. Incredible.
They should have called us to write this movie before we were born. We would have done better.
We have opinions, and they're mostly right.
Yes.
Okay. Well, any other thoughts about the music?
I don't think Michael Caine is the best singer on the planet.
Okay. That's going to pain some people, I think.
I'm so sorry
this movie.
to everyone whose heart is now breaking. But, like, we can be critical of movies that we love, is my take.
It was disappointing.
Yes.
I wanted to believe that he had the chops. Maybe he did at one point, but the power maybe was dying in the 90s.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know.
He kind of just, like, talk sings, which I feel like is kind of how everyone sings in this movie. It's kind of just, like, talking with rhythm.
Right. We have to be fair to him. Like, it's pretty on brand for the whole experience. Yeah. And I mean, even like other actors who aren't traditional singers, like I'm thinking Ryan Gosling in La La Land, where he just kind of, it's more of a, not necessarily a vocal performance, but like he's just kind of trying to get through it to his best of his ability. I don't know. Give Michael Caine another chance. Let him re-record his numbers. Because if anything proves, like, we take Ryan Gosling in La La Land and then Ryan Gosling and Barbie, they're not the same singer.
I'm just Ken. What a bop.
What a bop. So maybe Michael Caine does deserve his power ballad and a second chance at this. This is a plea. Now
I want Michael Caine to have the power ballad instead of Miss Piggy. Maybe we need 2 power ballads.
It could be a duet.
Yeah. Oh!
Here comes the money!
Here we go.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep. You heard it here first. In real podcast. So, okay, Kristen, things are probably not going to get as jolly now.
Oh, no.
It's your chance to best me 2 truths and 1 lie. I think we can probably just start this off. I'll list 3 facts, and it's your job to decipher the lie.
Okay. Oh, boy.
So we'll start with number 1. In the original script for the film, Miss Piggy was written to be the ghost of Christmas past. However, the team replaced Piggy's part, understanding that she would hardly share a scene with her quote-unquote other half, Kermit the Frog. 2, to achieve the floating physicality of the ghost of Christmas past, the team submerged that weird spirit angel she-demon in a tank of baby oil backed by green screen. However, the cost of that baby oil put a strain on the budget, and the team had to switch to water. However, the puppet's glue interacted poorly with the water, but the team was able to salvage. 3, the extras on the various sets throughout the film were actually puppeteers. Kristen, it is now your duty to present the lie of these 3 facts. If you need me to restate these 3 facts, let me know. You have the floor.
Okay. The Ghost of Christmas Past one with the baby oil, that felt too detailed to be a lie. And also, like, that checks out. I don't know. And the Puppeteers one, I'm like, that sounds true, because then, like, they don't have to, from a business perspective of them, they don't have to hire more people for a movie. So I'm going to say that the Miss Piggy one is false, because I feel like you always got to have Miss Piggy and Kermit together. And so that's my guess, is that they did with Miss Piggy. Yeah, that's the lie.
Kristen, can I ask you a question?
Of course you can.
What's your middle name?
Now it's Griner, but it used to be Anne.
Kristen, Anne, Griner, Olette. Christmas is going to be a lot better for you this year. And I might find some coal in my stocking. I've been naughty. I've not done a good job to keep padding my record. You have found the lie.
Yay!
It's a Christmas miracle.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Miss Piggy. So it's sort of a tweaked truth.
Okay.
Miss Piggy's part was originally supposed to be the Ghost of Christmas Present. And you can kind of see that because, like, she's boisterous, she's fun. And that's exactly what you get out of that lively Ghost of Christmas Present performance. The others are truths. I love the baby oil fact.
It's horrific, but like in a good way.
Doesn't it match the tonality of it all though? Like she is horrific. That little angel
baby doll
demon.
Yeah.
Gross. So it adds up. And I thought it was pretty cool that the extras on the set were working puppeteers. Like they could help if needed during a scene. And I don't know. It just adds a sort of expertise to the entire cast.
I agree.
So Kristen, again, you'll start at 1-0 in your all-time record. You may be invited back for a future episode. So I do have another opportunity to sully your record. So caution moving forward. Mm-hmm. I think we can probably segue into talking about a couple themes in the movie. I have a couple in mind. You can always talk about one that you would like as well, or maybe one that you found to be important. The first one that I'll mention is this theme of regret that you kind of get with the Christmas Carol classic tale. You know, Scrooge, he experiences one regret after another.
Right.
You know, for the way he treated the small mouse boy, his first love and how that relationship ended, or just like this plight of Tiny Tim, the whole thing. For me, I feel like feelings of regret sometimes come seemingly out of nowhere, usually without much warning, almost like it's like a negative take on daydreaming. Like what could have been done? What could I have done? Do you have any similar experiences like that? Just it coming out of nowhere.
It's a great question. Not in the way that Scrooge does, I guess. Because I don't think I've made any choices in my life that are getting me chased down by 3 different Christmas ghosts. Or at least I hope I haven't done anything in my life to have warranted that.
Wakes up tonight.
Dun, dun,
Gross,
dun.
weird baby doll is in your room.
Horrific. If that happens, I'm gonna cry a lot. And yeah. But like I get like the like thinking about like, well, what if I had done option B instead of option A? Like that kind of thing. Right. Just like
it could be a
day-to-day I feel like
thing.
that's like a human thing, is to be like, oh, like making one decision over another. Like, is this the right choice? Because I feel like a lot of movies and literature, it's kind of just like, did you go on the right path, kind of? Yeah,
to feel the need to change that would limit your agency in the moment.
Right.
You know? We make mistakes. We grow from them.
Exactly.
I think regret makes us turn the page back, focusing on what's been already written in a way. How do you think we can transform regret into a positive outlook moving forward?
I guess it's like learning from the regret, honestly, because like if you're upset about something that you chose, next time you're presented with a similar situation, choose differently, I guess.
Okay.
Is one way. So like it's just like a going forward, like how can I act to not have this kind of feeling?
Do you think like sometimes even if we regret something, it's still the best possible outcome that could have happened?
Oh, absolutely.
The course of the trajectory of everything would have been altered. And the things that I love now would have never have been, you know?
Right.
So it doesn't make maybe the pain or the frustration or the just overwhelming concern any different. It's just reflecting and thinking about your life in its totality, and you take the good and the bad with
right.
that.
Like nothing's going to be 100% perfect. Like it's all about the balance of everything, kind of. Even if you regret something, you're still probably on the path you're supposed to be on. It's kind of my take on things.
The other theme I was thinking about in this movie is just thinking about this whole Christmas spirit. I think when I read the book before, Dickens kind of like characterizes Christmas as a time of like good cheer. I think people should practice good cheer, maybe lead with kindness on every day of the year. But I think Dickens says that Christmas is like, it's just that time, that special time that's guaranteed where you devote to celebrating those greater concepts, being generous and living good cheer. If you were to like paint a scene of your special kind of holiday, how might that canvas look for you?
I feel like just kind of really warm and cozy, and just it's filled with all the people that I love. all in one spot. That's what I really love about the holidays, is like you get to gather with the most important people in your life, kind of, if you can.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy that element of the spirit of the season. There's just like a filter of just like everything kind of softens and gets more relaxed around the holidays. It's like a warm hug, I think.
It's just like a bubble of being with the people that really make that warm feeling shine.
Yes,
you know?
Exactly.
Because you can have the tree, you can have the fireplace, but man, do they feel so much duller and colder when you don't have people on the couch or on the floor or opening a present? Yeah.
Right. Like, I'd much rather have like a room filled with people than a room filled with decorations.
I love that.
Yeah.
If I could only hang my loved ones on the wall all year round.
So they're comfortable, though.
Can I get you something? A glass of water while you're hanging there? I guess, so what do the holidays mean to you and your family in that? Do you have any small traditions?
All like that cute little kitschy Christmas stuff. Jake and I always try to get each other the most like sentimental cards possible. It's because we're trying to make each other like cry in a good way, I guess. How can I in words tell you how much like I love and appreciate you?
Like an emotional release before the holiday.
Yeah. So I like that. Yeah, I'm a big greeting card gal. I love greeting cards.
Okay.
So I really like Christmas cards.
I know people think, oh, you're just going to get them a card. Some people have that opinion where it's like, oh, you're just getting them a card instead of, but I don't know. To me, people don't do it enough anymore. Number one, but number two, I think it's super underrated, that feeling that you get when someone has delivered a message for you, whether it be by mail or in person, where you can keep it next to you in your living room as a reminder that, yeah, people are still checking it. People have something nice to say.
I think the thing about cards is, at least like the way I optimistically view greeting cards, is like someone picked this out specifically for you. Like the message of the card reminded a person who's getting you a card of you. It's a little like physical reminder of that, kind of. The nice thing I like about greeting cards is you can keep them forever. So like I have greeting cards from like family members that have passed away. So it's nice to look back through those and like read those messages still and be like, oh yeah, oh that was really nice. I don't know, Winnie the Pooh card that my grandma got me when I was 7 or 8 years old. It's that kind of thing too, where it's the memories of the person that the card brings up, I guess, more than just the card itself.
I love that.
Oh,
I love that. Because my mom will hang up cards around her banister, and my mother-in-law will keep them all filed away. Definitely something nice to look back on as sort of a time capsule from that holiday season and what they meant to you at the time.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, another important part of the Christmas spirit is, again, being generous, getting presents. What are you hoping to unwrap this year?
Oh, man. I don't know what I want for Christmas.
Classic.
I know, classic. I really got to work on my letter to Santa, like...
He's waiting. He's tapping his foot up there in the North Pole.
Kristen.
Like, I'm actually ready to do my shipment now. Not even on the 25th, but guess who I'm waiting on? It's this girl.
That chick.
Arlington, Virginia.
Imagine it's like he's just waiting until everyone gets their lists in, and then he's like, finally, I can go.
Sheesh. I usually like to be done with the Nordic countries by this time.
But yeah, so I don't really know what I'm looking for under the tree. It's kind of like with the cards where it's like if someone like gets me something and it's like, this reminded me of you. Those kind of presents are my favorite because it's like, it's a surprise and then it's just like a sweet surprise kind of too. Because it's like, oh, you saw this and you thought of me? Like it could be something, it could be a rock and I would be like, oh, you thought of me.
Oh, don't bring the pet rocks back. We'll get people thinking.
Well, now I want a pet rock for Christmas.
Well, you, Jake, have been needing a pet, so
I know.
You can start small.
I know.
Start
small. A pet rock is a good first pet.
Now, growing up, I had like it wasn't like life size, but it was like probably 3/4 of my body at the time. A stuffed Spider-Man when the movies were out with Tobey Maguire. I might have mentioned this to you, but I'd always keep it like right beside me in bed, like right next to me, facing the door so that if any intruders or monsters were to try to get me on my bed,
He'd protect you.
Right, he would be the first line of defense.
Yeah.
Did you have like that one special present growing up?
I didn't have like an almost life-size Spider-Man for that. I did have like stuffed animals where I was like, I will be okay as long as Puppy is here. Like, which is just like a little like $5 stuffed animal from Kohl's. It was like a golden retriever, and I just was like, this is Puppy. This is my friend. You had
a name. You had a visual cue that you weren't alone. Like,
yeah.
This was your homie.
She was my emotional support dog.
Licensed or?
No. Completely under the table.
Well, Kristen, how do you think we as people can practice the Christmas spirit 365 days a year?
Great question. I think it has to do with a lot with like love and kindness. Because I think everyone's like, at this time of year, everyone's like, oh, yay. I feel like people are more emotionally available and like being like to everyone, be like, I love you, I love humanity, like all those kinds of things. And I think if we carried that throughout the year more so, that would be better for the world at large. Like I think we like are more charitable is not the right word. Mm-hmm. It's more of a time for like the people in your life because like things kind of slow down at work, so it's like,
well, I think there's a certain respect for people who are going through things, but just leading with a general kindness that might pick someone's day up, or paying it forward for maybe someone who doesn't need it, but create a chain to link that certain cheer together for the greater community.
I think that's what I'm going with. Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that. Be nicer to people.
Well, is there any other themes that you wanted to talk about? I know we're shorter on time, but I just wanted to give you that space if you wanted to.
We kind of touched on this already, but I think like redemption is another big theme in this because like you can see it's kind of like it goes hand in hand with the regret. Is like with your regret you can change your ways and then redeem yourself, kind of, or begin the practice of redeeming yourself. I don't think bringing one turkey to Christmas dinner is gonna like clean the slate on Mr. Scrooge's existence, but it's a good start that I think it's never too late to change.
So you're not under the opinion that there's people who are irredeemable.
I don't want that to be the case. I want everyone, I guess, to have the ability to redeem themselves. Is everyone going to? Absolutely not. I think that's part of it. Throughout like history of like literature and movies and like all those like different forms of media, that's like one of the it's like a big one.
Yeah.
Like a big theme throughout. So I think we were always trying to hope that we can be better people than we are. And fiction is a good way to explore that, I guess. It's a lot easier to write someone being redeemed on a page than like doing the work in your real life to get that way.
In a way, easier said than done.
Yes, exactly.
It's beneficial for our well-beings to think that people in our lives can do right when maybe they've done so many wrongs.
Right.
It's important to remember that on the holiday season, even when maybe right at this moment you have a loved one who you're not connected with, you have a friend who has become estranged in your circle, maybe it's just important to hit pause and, give them that time and space to figure it out.
Yeah.
And still give their love to the people who are in your life where you haven't hit pause.
I guess there's always room for growth. That doesn't stop at any point in our lives. Like we're always changing and growing, hopefully.
And people can do that with you, or they can't, or they might need to take a step back, do their own soul searching, and then come back in when they're ready.
Exactly.
But it's a two-way road, always. Well, Kristen, we've actually talked about a shit ton of stuff for this holiday special.
Hell yeah.
Did not anticipate, which I'm really happy about. I think we've talked about the Muppets, of course, the crazy loons they are, the ultra beautiful, handsome Michael Caine delivering a powerhouse performance. We talked about, really themes in this classic tale. It's not really a Muppet thing, but they made it their own, talking about the past, what we can do about it, moving ahead, the holiday season, really the Christmas spirit, what it means to us, each other, this big community, our loved ones, and in our families. And redemption, great theme of redemption. And I think it's maybe this time of year where people really start to think, I'm forgetting about this person. Maybe I need to send them a card. Maybe I need to reach out, and maybe I need to be generous with my time and my love so that collectively we can find a certain peace.
Yeah.
Kristen, I really appreciated the time. I really appreciated you just carving out one of your off days after your crazy work week to, I don't know, share in this holiday classic, I guess we could call it, be on the first holiday special. So thank you.
I'm happy to be a part of it. And Evan, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you as well. And, well, happy holidays to the listeners.
Happy holidays to everyone.
The time is closing in for the new year. So, I mean, maybe just take a moment and pause and think about what's been and what's here and what's to be done as you move into a happy 2025, or maybe a better 2025 than 2024 was. Again, thank you, Kristen, and thank you to everybody listening in. Happy holidays. Love you guys.
Happy holidays.